It's not a phone.
That's right.
Well, anyway, today we're going to have a great show because today is our Father's Day show.
Yay!
Yay for the fathers!
Father's Day!
And so I am happy because I have 4 fathers that are here today, and one is running just a little bit late, but he's on his way, Lamar Strait. And then we have Howard Mills. Howard is like, I'm going to say he's my #1 fan.
Aww.
He has been listening to the Inspirational Diva show for so long.
Okay. Were you directing that? You was directing that and saying that at the same
long. Okay. And then we have Jerry Rojas. He's here with us. Yay for Jerry. And then we have my dad.
Yay.
Mr. Leon Grayson. Yay! Oh, I'm still trying to work this, y'all. Okay. My dad. Okay, I'm going to get this, y'all. Okay. I'm here. Okay, we're going to just turn it around. But these are my... Okay, after the break, I get it. Okay. But I'm back. Okay. But anyway, we have a good show today. But right now, it is time for our morning rant. Woo!
Yes.
And y'all know, okay, first of all, let me say this. On last Saturday, I did not do a show because I was at the Pretty Blessed Girls Under Renovation workshop. And if I tell you, it was such an awesome experience. They had over 300 girls there.
Oh, wow.
And they were teaching them about image, how to present themselves, just being young ladies. It was so good. It was Girls Under Renovation. And I think I had the age group from like maybe 9 to, well, maybe 8 to 11 or something like that. And I was teaching them about image. And it was so fun. It was just so great to be a part of that. So I want to say thank you to the staff of Pretty Blessed Girls for even having me over, asking me to be a speaker there. But it was fun. And after dealing with all those little girls, I was ready to go home and be under renovation myself. I was so tired. But it was so good. So we need more programs like that. So, you know, if you have a program like that, whether it's for girls or for boys, because we want to have these programs for boys, people are always doing something for girls. And so I think they need to start doing something for boys as well. I know I did one once before, and I had some guys to come in, and they taught the boys how to put an outfit together. They taught them about how to present themselves to the public. They taught to them about speaking and just, you know, everything that our young boys need. You know, boys need it just like girls, but we always focus on the girls, but we need to start focusing on the boys as well. So thank you to the Pretty Blessed Girls organization, empowering, mentoring group for having me over. I appreciate that. But, so my morning rant is, I've been going through about this. I don't know if I'm the only person going through about IHOP, changing their name to IHOP. But IHOB. Now, IHOP. Stick to the pancakes. Okay. Now, these burgers.
These burgers too. So.
They don't have to advertise. They need to advertise their pancakes. Let Whataburger, we're going to talk about them in the bread.
Yep.
Whataburger, Burger King, McDonald's, all of them. Let them stick to the burgers. And Wendy's.
Right, yeah.
I
got you.
Stick to the pancakes. Because when I go in there, I don't have a burger on my mind. I have a short stack with a piece of bacon.
Right.
And an orange juice. What y'all think about IHOP?
Yeah, but they want to advertise that they have burgers too.
No.
Thank you, Howard. Because they can just put it on the menu and let people see it by chance.
Well, I'm 48, so over 48 years, that's what they've been doing. But now,
and it's been working.
Time for change.
No, I need
change.
I need to change.
I think their marketing person just they really think things through. They
right.
Hey, this would be a good idea. Let's go ahead and change it to the Diva for the burger. And I don't know if you saw on social media how
they
everybody else took them to task and said, "Oh yeah, well that's a dumb idea. Here's why." I think it's sure they try to change as Ms. Donna said, but change isn't necessarily good when people used to IHOP. I grew up in California with the International House of Pancakes. An old A-frame restaurant. So it was a big change when it was IHOP. It took people a while to go.
Why?
So now it's I don't think of IHOP as the ideal place for a burger.
And I'm just wondering if they maybe tried that, because like I've driven by 2 IHOPs yesterday, and they didn't even change the name on it. It's still IHOP. There was no B on there. So I guess so I guess they were just gonna keep it IHOP.
It might have just been
But
a
is it
marketing.
temporary?
It's just
Yeah.
a marketing.
It
I
was
think it
possibly
might have been
temporary.
temporary. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just too much probably legal work to change it fully.
Right.
Legal paperwork, so they're just trying to do something
Leave
different.
it alone. Leave it
Yeah.
alone. Now, on another note, Whataburger. What's a burger? Everybody said not Whataburger.
Yes.
Whataburger.
Hallelujah.
Whataburger has it's something going on with their white bread that they were using their burgers with, so now they're serving their burgers on wheat bread and tortilla shells, I think. So
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I just think eventually we're gonna have to start growing gardens in our yards.
We should already
and
be
we're
doing
just gonna
that.
have to start eating our own food. Be like back in the day when my dad used to have a hog pen and
Yeah,
go out there.
exactly.
You get ready for some bacon.
Yes.
Go out there, slaughter a hog,
Yes.
bring them onto the kitchen table,
Well, feed
chop
them that
them up.
corn. Feed them that corn.
Yes.
Get 'em cleaned out.
Because it's like, and then I saw Sugar Smacks. I don't eat Sugar Smacks probably in
Sugar
years
Smacks
since I
is
ate Sugar
good.
Smacks, and now Sugar Smacks have salmonella in it. You know, they were recalling that.
Everything.
So we're just gonna have to start going to the backyard, digging up some ground, and planting our own garden, and that's what we're gonna have to eat. That's what we're gonna have
That's
to eat.
what the little elementary schools are going to. Real school gardens.
Yes, I've been noticing that a lot of
And
schools.
they're teaching them how
are-
to, plant
yes.
their food. Yeah.
Somebody actually told me to come to their school, and that's Lamar, everybody. Hey, Lamar. Yay.
Welcome.
But somebody actually told me to come to their school and pick some food out of their garden.
Yeah.
I guess I'll take it home for my husband to cook because, I don't do
Yeah.
that. Hey, Louis.
Hey, Louis.
So you all know that Louis and I moved. We got a house
Yay.
a couple of months ago.
Is it a house, Dad?
By steps.
My dad went up those steps last night. I thought he was going to need an oxygen tank.
Hey, in the elevator now.
But, okay, so I was at home Friday night. Now, the house I moved from, I was always worried about the snakes because we had a creek in the backyard. I was always worried about snakes, and I always saw like these big old raccoons in the trash can eating out the trash, and it was like a family of raccoons. Not just one raccoon taking the food back. No, he invited the whole family. So all these raccoons are in our trash cans. So I moved, and I'm thinking, okay, I won't have that issue anymore. And then across the street from me is a pond. I said, uh-oh. And then when I moved into the house, the lady left some items in the garage. One of those items was snake be gone.
Oh, what they do that for?
I almost flatlined.
Well, you almost flatlined the other day with that
But
baby
Friday
frog.
night, I get home and I'm taking stuff out of the car. I left the garage door open.
A little friend.
And so I saw something that we used to call them camouflage when I was younger. I said, oh, it's a little camouflage flying around. Let me go get rid of it. But I got closer to it and it didn't fly. It hopped. And I said, whoa, what is that? It was a baby frog in my house. I started stomping and stomping and screaming and screaming.
Hey, just wanted to welcome you to the neighborhood.
No, I don't
Exactly.
even- That frog would not die. I ran to the kitchen. I got the broom and I started sweeping. He just started hopping. I'm sweeping, he's hopping. So I opened up the garage door and said, just swept on out. I'm like, Lord, I cannot leave the wilderness. What is it with me and these animals? I am not Noah. I'm not building an ark. But I don't like it. I don't like the wildlife. So anyway, Donna, Juneteenth is coming up. I know you know about all the Juneteenth.
Juneteenth is coming up on
That's going on.
Tuesday.
There she
Yes.
goes. Tuesday.
The MLK Center in Dallas is having their event from 3 to 7 p.m.
Gosh, why they can't have it from like 6 in the morning until
Right.
3? And not
You
at
know.
6, at 3. It's going to be
You know, they got
blazing
clients,
outside.
they got clients, they got clients.
Oh, okay.
They got clients. So, they're going to have live entertainment, games, prizes, free health screening. Look at that.
Oh, she's so
Local,
excited.
yeah. Because, people, we can't get, and I have to single the dads out.
Uh-oh.
We can't get men to go to the doctor.
That's right.
So,
Go get your prostate
Yes.
checked, man.
Local vendors, kids,
We don't
arts
find
and
out.
crafts. So we want to see you all Tuesday night, 3 to 7 at the MLK
Let me see
Center.
that, Donna.
Yeah.
All right, so 3 to 7. Yeah.
Yes, 3 to 7.
Go get your prostate checked.
I don't
That's
think
all I
they're
keep
checking
saying.
the prostates there,
Oh, they're
but
not checking your prostate. They'll tell you where you can get it checked.
right?
Okay, so as I stated earlier, is there anything else that you?
Oh, clear backpacks for the schools this year.
Right.
You know where they
Is
can
that
get?
everywhere or just in certain?
From at first, I thought it was up in Plano, and I think McKinney, I wanted to say, but I have some employees that said it's in Grand Prairie as well.
So are they gonna stop them from wearing those black trench coats too? Because
No, they probably
everything
won't.
not coming in the backpack. Something coming in under their coat.
Right, but yeah, clear backpacks.
Well, okay. Well, we'll see, and then we'll try to see if we can find somebody to donate something to us. If you want to donate some clear backpacks for the Inspirational Diva Show, let me know. The Inspirational Diva Show, yahoo.com. All right. So as today, as I stated earlier, we are excuse my voice, everybody. I have been to the doctor. And
Women go to the doctor.
we do.
We do.
And I go for everything. My husband told me. He said, Stephanie, I have never met a deductible until I'm married to.
OMG.
I go to the doctor for everything. So yes, I went for my voice, and I have stress on my vocal cords from acid reflux and from allergies. So I'm really not supposed to be doing all this talking. I'm supposed to talk in my low voice. But you know me, I can't do that. But anyway, as I stated earlier, this is our Father's Day show. So I have my dad, Leon Grayson. Woo! Woo!
Thank you for serving the country.
Thank you for your service.
Yes.
And then we have Howard Mills. Woo!
Yes.
Go Howard. And we have Jetty Rojas.
Jetty.
Rojas. And we have Lamar Stray. Lamar's been on the show before. He is the owner of Dad Nation. And so he's one of our sponsors for our Father's Day giveaway. And so since I mentioned Father's Day giveaway, we thank you to everyone that submitted a father for the Father's Day giveaway. And I was reading them all, but there were two that stuck out.
Uh-oh.
So I was like, which one do I do? And then I said, they submitted that, but they didn't put Daddy's name on there. But, so I'm waiting on them to email me back with their dad's name. But we do have two grand prize winners, and I will announce those at the end of the show.
Aww.
Yeah, I just thought, I'm just reading their stories, it was just like so heartwarming, so touching. And it's just something about a father-daughter relationship. And then, like I have a son, and I always say something about a mother-son relationship. It's just like daddy's baby, and then mama's boy, But anyway, when we come back, we're going to be talking to our dads, and we're just going to be talking about their journeys being fathers, some of the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs, the funny things, all of that. And then, my dad and I, we have a story that we're going to be telling, and Lord, don't let me get emotional. But anyway, we'll be talking to our dads when we come back from our break. You're tuned into the Inspirational Diva Show here on DFWIGospel.com.
Good morning, Facebook. Ooh. Good morning, Facebook. That's my song.
All right, everybody. I'm on the camera. But, hey, Mia, I know you're a daddy's girl. That's all right, girl. I'm a daddy's girl, too, Jam. But anyway, we are talking to our dads today. And Mia, I already kicked a shout out to Pretty Blessed Girls for having me as one of your speakers on last week. I had a great time, so thank you so much for that. But we have a good show today because we're talking about our dads, talking to our dads today for Father's Day. Hey, Pamela. Hey, Matral. It's Father's Day weekend, honey. So we're talking to these dads. So all those men that always say, Stephanie, you don't ever have anything for men on your show. You always have something for women. So today, we're talking about them. We're talking to the dads. Talking to the men. Pray for my boys, you all. It's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. But anyway, it's going to be all good. Hey, Matral, I love you too. I pray that you are doing well and that God is blessing you and healing you. It's all good, girl. The devil is defeated. But anyway, we're talking to dads today, so we're going to have a good show today. Right now, we're listening to who is Bridgewater? No Regrets, right here on DFWIGospel.com.
And on that note, we want to say a prayer for Latanya Hutchins family,
I stayed in LA for
celebrating, we're going to celebrate the life of Norman Hutchins today at 1 o'clock at Home Wellness Missionary Baptist Church on Dolphin Road in South Dallas. So much prayer
I'm trying something new with my camera, so if it's a little
I
shady.
gotta get to the game.
Sammy Sparks,
Yeah, we go
to
to the
see you
Lakers game.
today at 1 o'clock.
It's fun time.
Thank you so
Yeah, he
much
goes
for
all
the
the time. He got here 2 weeks because I make those. So I make enough. Like I got a managed
to our dads.
Yeah, I'll show you.
So
I just
we
take
will
myself offline.
let you kind of hear from the shirt.
I did a Lakers one
Prepare for the
for my
next
son.
session of the show.
It's my new
2-hour
shirt.
show today, not a 1 hour, 2 hour
By
show.
Lamar
These
Street.
hoodies and stuff. So
I like
these
these. It's my old shirt.
stuff that I just let me know. 'Cause
My new shirt.
What's that?
I put a lot of
My new
stuff on
Inspirational.
my Instagram.
Uh-huh.
I hope this thing don't stretch.
Just to work.
He has so much faith in me. Put me in the medium. That's so lovely.
Oh, that's nice.
That's got all the greats.
Man.
But see, I don't have that sweater. I mean, I have that sweater, but I don't have that one. So I made
Who is
that
Bridgewater?
sweater, that Lakers sweater right there.
Oh.
And then I made one for my son. It wasn't a matching one because I couldn't find the. I got a Kobe one too. So when I do these, I just press them. I got a machine at the house. And he has his own brand too. So we just. I think I took all that Lakers stuff off here because I'm meeting all my.
All right, everybody, we are back. It's your girl Stephanie Dixon, the Inspirational Diva, and you're tuning into the Inspirational Diva Show. And you just heard "No Regrets" by who is Bridgewater, and Bridgewater has their own Pandora station, and I am in love with it. That's all I listen to when I get in the car, when I plug my phone in. Who is Bridgewater? So make sure you check them out. But today is our Father's Day show. Yay, Daddy! Woo! So one by one, we're gonna ask each one of our guests to just kind of speak into the mic and just kind of let the listeners know a little bit something about you. And we're gonna start with my dad, Mr. Leon Grayson. Woo!
Hello, my name is Leslie Leon Grayson.
All right, Leslie, come
From
through.
Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, Vietnam 4 years, and I'm here in the Big D. And my daughter and I have a problem when it comes to football. She claims that she's the headquarters for the Dallas cheerleaders.
Dallas Cowboys.
Sure.
Get it right.
My bad. I'm still suffering from the flight.
He's from Tennessee.
But my team is the Atlanta Falcons, also known as the Dirty Birds. That's all right. Yeah, I know 2 years ago we had a big letdown. But I'm going to pass it on to somebody.
All right, our next guest is Howard Mills. Howard.
Hey. Praise the Lord. You know, I'm originally from New York City, Queens Village.
Why?
And I relocated to Dallas about 7 years ago. And I came for my children who want a better quality of life.
Awesome.
I'm glad to say that yesterday I was at TCU. Getting my son's orientation. He's going to be a freshman.
Nice.
My daughter's at St. John. She's going to be a senior next year. And I am going on the Empty Nester Trail.
Wow.
I think it's a joyous thing. People was like, you're going to be sad, and I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, just wait. You
God
will be.
got me through, and I'm just thankful. Thank you.
All right, Howard. Thanks for being here.
right.
And now we have Jerry Rojas.
Say.
Yeah, turn it around.
Hello, I'm Jerry Rojas.
Bring it in, yeah.
Closer. How about
Yeah,
that?
there you go.
My name is Jerry Rojas. I'm originally from California, born and raised in Orange County, and but came out to Texas in 1992. Been here since, and I consider myself Texan now. Just me in a nutshell. I tell people I love Jesus, punk rock, pro wrestling, and Star Wars. So it's a smorgasbord of everything. Throw in some basketball and football. Cowboy fan.
Woo!
Mavs, Lakers, like we were just talking about earlier. And father to a 7-year-old, but now just got recently married a couple months ago. So now I have 2 stepdaughters now, so I'm in a house full of women, even the dog.
Wow.
So pray for me out there. And, prayer for wisdom. And,
Right.
How old are
You
they?
need that.
I have a 7, 11, and 16-year-old.
Oh.
The 16-year-old's a girl?
16, they're all girls.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
I will be asking for further prayer after the show. So,
Shotgun.
yeah. I'll be getting my CHL very soon. So.
All right, and next we have Lamar Strait, and he has brought his son, BJ.
Speaking to the mic, say hello.
Hello.
Yay!
Yes, as you know, that's my sister right there.
Yay!
I know. Somehow. But yeah, I do music. I was on a film called Carter High that's on Netflix. I have another film called Beast that's coming out with Teresa Ballard.
Wow.
I have a few music placements, so I'm pretty much an entrepreneur. I work from home. Design Clothes, That Nation is one of my brands. I am a Lakers fan. My biggest treasure is this big head right here. And we pretty much, he has his own brand called Incredible Kids University. So we're just trying to make sure he don't fill out any applications for anybody. That's my number one goal. And when you said orientation, that's all I heard. So when you got him in there, it's like, man, I don't care if the papers are done, everything's done. So I'm just excited because I'm still growing, and I got this boy. He's finna go to the 6th grade. So I mean, and he has these different attitudes. So I'm glad to bring him here to pull him on blast. So you know what I mean? And my camera's out, so I got to fix that.
We got a break coming up. Well, you know what? When I first I love Lamar. When I first met Lamar auditioned for a stage play that I wrote. And he was always talking about his son. You know, I was talking about his son. He had his son with him. You know, everywhere he went, I was like, this young boy is on point, you know, with being a good dad. And I've always admired him for that. And so, I mean, if you look at his social media, it's about his son. And I love that. And I love what he's saying about making sure he doesn't, you know, have to fill out the application. If he does, it's only by choice, because he's teaching him to be an entrepreneur and to be self-employed. And I like that, and that's good. So, Jerry, tell me about some of the ups of being a father. You know, you have our daughters, so tell me about that.
The good thing about being a father is, I mean, one thing that stands out, I like being able to do kid stuff and not be the weird guy. So I like being able to take my daughter and just seeing the innocence and the joy that comes out just hanging out and letting her be a kid. And a lot of things, I think that comes to mind is always the stuff that I didn't get to do as a kid, I want her to do.
Right.
You know, I grew up in a household sometimes where we heard no more often than not. No, you can't do this and you can't do that. And my parents had their reasons, whatever it was. But now I kind of want to be, no, you know what? Let's go do this.
Right.
Let's travel. Let's just go hang out and go be a kid. Go be a kid and not force anything. I mean, just stuff that I like. If she happens to like it, that's a plus for me. That's a bonus for me. And if she doesn't, which I know the day will come, where she's not going to care about, you know, pro wrestling or anything, or Star Wars or whatever. We hope not. But if it comes, it comes. And that means she's growing into someone on her own individually. And I just like seeing that in progressing as she gets older. And I think that's one of the upsides of seeing it, you know, which it sounds like a downside, but it's not, I swear. You know?
Yeah. And I like that, because when you're saying, you know, let's not force them to do anything. I know a lot of times, you know, we do try to force our kids to do certain things that we want them to do. But we have to remember that God has a purpose and a plan for all of our lives. And what we want for our kids may not be what God wants for our kids. I remember with my son, one day my mom called me, and my son had written all over my mother's wall. He drew all of my mom, and I was like, oh my God, now I got to go to her house, I got to clean the wall. And so he drew.
And he lived to tell the tale.
and what it was, he liked the movie Little Mermaid. He's probably about maybe 6 years old. And as I was cleaning the wall, I had to stop because I'm looking at what he drew. I'm like, this is pretty good. And so I cleaned the wall up, but I started buying sketch pads and everything. He's an artist now. That was the beginning of his artwork. I should let it stay on the wall. But, you know, with that, I had to put I had to be a part of things that I didn't really necessarily want to be a part of in the art world. I joined art organizations so that he could learn more about, what God had given him, his gift that God had given him. And so, sometimes we would go to events and be at art events all day long in the heat, but I want him to know the different forms of art. And so I had to change my lifestyle for him at that point. And then also, like, you say our parents, when we grew up, a lot of times our parents were saying, no, you can't do this, you can't do it. It could have been for financial reasons or whatever. But I always found myself taking my son somewhere so that he could be a kid. Because I think sometimes we get so boggled down with life, paying bills and doing everything, and we forget we have kids that we're trying to provide for. We forget that they need their own little fun in life too. And so I found every Saturday we had a date. We went on a date, and guess where we went? IHOP. And he would beg me, Mama, please don't work late so we can go on our date, but that was our time. So it is important to have the time with your children. It is important to make them feel a part of your life and not just make it about work all the time. Even though we're working for them, and sometimes people say, well, kids just need to understand. Well, we need to understand too that our children need us to like some of the things that they like. We have to do that sometimes. So Howard, tell us about your journey.
Well, what I enjoy most about is my kids becoming themselves. They become themselves, that they're grown up now. My daughter, like you said, she's a phenomenal singer. She's singing the Traveling Gospel Choir out of Harlem, New York. And I don't know where it came from because I don't sing. But when she said she wanted to do it, I didn't understand how I was going to. Then when I heard her sing, it was like, wow. It was just like incredible. And now that she's going to college, pursuing marketing and different other things, I'm like, your gift is singing, and I can't wait till you fall into it. But I'm trying to push it that way. But like you said, God knows what's going on. And then my son, he has a little bit of singing, but he has this acting thing. And I went to see plays at the end of the year, and I'm just like, wow, this is so incredible. Because my son, if you see him, he's kind of like shy, doesn't say much. But when he gets into a role, he can transform.
Yeah.
And I'm just watching him grow, and I'm just telling them they can do anything they want to do, and then it's happening. I thought he was like not a major in college, and he's going to be a writer. He wrote a poem at the end of the year that I've been sharing with a few people, and it feels like he's talking to everybody. Everybody's saying, that's great, you got to publish it. And I'm like, where did that come from? There's stuff that's been inside him for years. And I'm going to be under that, so I clean out his room. But all his books that he wrote notes in, I just kept them for him. I said, listen, go through that stuff. You got to publish that stuff or do something with it, or just keep it safe. So it's a blessing to watch your kids grow into something from little kids. Now they're becoming their own. And that's just the best blessing that I can talk about, and I feel grateful. I couldn't have done it without God, because when things was going on, I just stopped. I said, give me a minute, kids. I gotta go. Because my dad used to beat me, and I'm not sure if I'm going to give me a minute. But no, I need a minute. So, thank you.
Well, let me ask you this, because you're like two of your children is mine rolled up in one, because he was a theater major, and now he's pursuing his music. My baby moved to New York, y'all know that. Okay, he's doing good. God is blessing him. I was just bragging about him that he's doing so good. God is really blessing him in New York. But when you saw, was there like a time when you, even though you saw what God had given them, was there a time when you like, I don't know if I really want you to do that?
Never. Because it's funny, because we talk about our dad. My dad wanted me to be a mechanical engineer, and I just like fixing cars. I love cars. It's like, man, I didn't want to go to school for it. I just like doing it, and so it kind of like discouraged me. So I never discouraged them from what they want to do. That's their gift. If they want to do it, they're happy doing it. And like I tell my son, and he likes video games too. I said, figure out how you can make money doing that. Find out what you love to do, and figure out how you get paid doing it. And so I think he doesn't get it. He said, well, why would I want to make money at my love? I said, well, we have you flipping burgers at McDonald's for about an hour, and then you'll figure it out. Because there's people that go to work miserable all the time, and I just didn't want that for them. Find out what you love and figure out how to get paid doing it.
And that's good that you encourage him in that, because I do see a lot of, when my son used to do commercials, and I would see kids there at the auditions, and I could almost tell that they did not want to be there, but their parents wanted them to be there. And it was like, you better do this, you better get this audition right, don't you dare mess up. Do you see these other kids? And I'm looking at William like, now you really don't have to do this if you don't want to, you know. And I wasn't forcing him to do it, but the day he told me he didn't want to do it anymore was the day we stopped, you know. And I just see a lot of parents pushing kids. I don't see anything with maybe telling them about something and maybe just saying, hey, you know, maybe think about this. But when you force them to do it, they're doing it under protest. They're not going to put their best foot forward. When I used to train models at Barbizon School, those girls would be there. And I just want to tell their parents, sweetie, just because your daughter is tall doesn't mean she's supposed to be a model. Because those girls were there and they were like, I don't want to be here. And I'm like, why don't you tell your mom? Well, because she wants me to be here. And the thing, let me tell you what happened. Walmart was having an in-store fashion show. And they called for our models. And the ones that they sent did not want to go. Walmart sent all the models back and said no. And that's when I said, y'all need to talk to these girls and see if this is what they want to do, because they didn't put their best foot forward because it's not what they wanted to do. So they went over there looking like straight mannequins, and they did not want to do that. So I think it's good when you encourage your children to pursue their dreams. And then just try, like with my son, when I saw he was an artist, even though he only wanted to do pencil and paper, I wanted him to see about painting. I wanted him to see, you know, about putting things together, all of that. And he learned that, but his favorite thing was pencil and paper. And so that's what I encouraged him in. So, all right, well, we're about to go on break. And when we come back, we're going to talk to my dad, Leon Grayson. Woo! As we are talking about we're talking to Father's Day today for our Father's Day show. And don't forget, toward the end of the show, we have God's text message of the day. Before Sprint, T-Mobile, AT&T, or Metro PCS had text messaging, God had already given us the greatest text message of all, and that's the Word of God. So we're going to see what God's text message of the day is. But right now, we have the Williams Brothers with one of my favorite songs, What God Does, right here on the Inspirational Diva Show. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We are talking to our dads for Father's Day. So I got my dad here. We're going to be talking to him next. And we have Howard Mills, we have Jerry Rojas, and we have Lamar Strait. So we are talking to dads today. We're talking about their journey as fathers and things that they've experienced with their children. And so we are having a great show today. So make sure you stay tuned in, because toward the end of the show, we're going to find out who the winner is of the Inspirational Diva Show Father's Day giveaway. We want to say thank you to our sponsors, DFWIGospel.com, Dad Nation, Keela Souls, and Styling Diva Productions. So make sure you stay tuned in. All right?
Hey, Dr. Ford. If you have any questions for any fathers that are in the house, please hit me up on right here on the messenger or whatever it is. And we will definitely answer your question.
As you can see, everybody else is on Facebook Live.
Again, thank y'all so much for tuning into the show. I hope to see you all Tuesday night, Tuesday evening at the Email Thanks Center in Dallas for Juneteenth Festival from 3 to 7 p.m. Wells Fargo will be in the house volunteering out in the hot sun with his kids. So that's what we're going to do is
Scott, what's up, dude?
So,
how's it going, brother? Happy Father's Day to you, because you're a new dad. And I hope you're getting your sleep, and mom's getting her sleep as well. So that's awesome. Travis, I'm for work, man. You're a great dad as well, man. I see you pics with the kids, man. Do your thing. Be a punk rock dad. I love it, man. And thanks for checking it out. And go listen to DFWIGospel.com if you want to listen to the show. It'll be on until 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
Or 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Sorry about that. Papa, I see you out there. How you doing, Papa? That's my father-in-law. And Jeff, I see you, man. Jeff Harrison. Noe in San Antonio, brother. I see you out there. Happy Father's Day. My cousin, in New Mexico. I swear it's turning into a family affair now.
In Mexico?
In New Mexico. Bobby Garcia, I see you out there, brother. And happy Father's Day, everyone checking this out right now.
All right.
And
again,
we're all set, man. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And we'll talk to you all soon. Take
Hutchins
care.
family, at 1 o'clock today, they will be, one of my classmates will we laid to rest her husband, who was a graduate with us as well from Samuel High School. So at 1 o'clock we will be at Hopewell Missionary Baptist Church on Dolphin Road in South Dallas. So Hutchins family, we are praying for you in the homegoing of your husband. So much prayer, much power.
All right, we're about to go back in.
That was officially my first Facebook Live video.
Are you serious?
All right.
Just figured out like,
I'm
oh,
breaking
okay.
ground here at this
I
work.
can do that.
Good deal, Jerry.
All right, everybody, we're back. You just heard the Williams Brothers, What God Does, one of my favorite songs. I have so many favorite songs. But we are talking to Dad today on the Inspirational Diva show. And so we've just talked briefly with Howard Mills, Jerry Rojas, and with Lamar Strait. And right now, it's time to talk to my dad, Mr. Leon Grayson. Now, let me kind of give you a little story about me and my Papa Smurf. Okay, so I was adopted. And I was adopted when I was 2 years old. And my dad was in Vietnam. And so I guess about in 2004, maybe around 2004.
October 14th.
Oh, okay. So
October 14th.
there was a situation where, let's just say somebody wanted to help me do something. And they asked a friend of mine, what would make Stephanie the happiest? And they told her probably to find her biological parents. Well, this particular person paid for my friend, or however he did it, for her to help me find my biological family. So I gave her all the information that I had, and she went to work. So hence, Leon Grayson, my biological father, that I found in October 14th. October 14th. And it was so funny because what happened was my sister called me. She called me at work, and she said, "Hi, Stephanie. I don't even think she said her name. She may have, I don't know. She said, can you give me a call?" And she left this long distance number. Well, at the time I was at work and I didn't have long distance on my phone. So at the shop. So I said, well, I'll call her this weekend. But a few days later she called back and she said, "Hi, Stephanie. My name is Janessa." She said, "And I was told that you're looking for your biological family, and I think I may be your sister." So when she said that, I found a way to call her. And so I called her and I talked to her. And then the next day I talked to my other sister, Lovey. And then they told me, they said, "Now Dad wants to talk to you, but they don't know, he doesn't know how you feel." And I said, "Give him my number and tell him when he's ready to give me a call." And when he gave me that call,
Okay, I got to make up today, Stephanie. I can't do that.
when he
Can't
gave
do
me that call, and we talked for so long, and he gets really emotional too. But the first time I met him, when we first met, and I just so happened to be going to Memphis, Tennessee, and he lives in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So when we first met, we were going out to eat, and he just held my hand the whole time, and he just cried, and it was just like such a God thing. And so that's my dad, Leon Grayson. And so let's welcome him, everybody. Let's welcome my dad.
Yay!
So
Thank you.
now's your turn to talk. I'm trying to hold it in, you letting it out.
I just want to elaborate on a little bit what you had just talked about. When I first found out I was in Vietnam, and when I returned from Vietnam, I was wondering when, I knew I had a daughter, but I didn't know where she was. And when I did get a little information on where she was, I was given a phone number and a website. Well, first when I found out where she was, I lit up like a Christmas tree. I was so happy and so joyful. Vanessa Buckley that I played for several days. And when I first saw her, she had a modeling outfit on. She was, I guess, going down what they call a runway. And I remember that the outfit was about this color here, and she had a little fuzzy little hat on, and looked like she weighed about 50 pounds.
Lord, bring back the days of skinny Jesus.
I'm going to fatten her up with cornbread and pork chop. You know, man. But then when I had the phone number about 10 days. And I had seen situations similar to that. I was on something like the Oprah Winfrey Show where families have been reunited for the first time. And I didn't know how to start this conversation. Hey, I'm your dad, I think I'm your dad. Well, I didn't know there was a protocol for the way you were going about, but I know it. Janessa, my youngest dog. She called me, she said, Dad, she said, guess what? I talked to Stephanie. Oh no, I wanted to be the first one. I'm sorry, I want to talk to myself. But we met in Memphis, and like I say, it was a joyful reunion. It was very joyful. I was very happy as I am today.
Yeah, and my papa, y'all. So I call him Papa Smurf, and he calls me Precious. He calls Janessa what? Chicken.
Chicken.
And you call Lovey what?
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo. But I'm Precious. But it's been great. Ever since I met him, we have like a great relationship, and I'm always glad to hear from him, and he's always glad to hear from me. And you know, he met William, my son, and now he and my husband. You know, they have these pool competitions. I don't really know who wins the pool competition because they both talk all this stuff. Then when they get together, oh, I'm tired, I don't feel like playing. You know, something happens. But anyway, he has been just a joy since I met him. And so, but what I kind of really want to know right now is like, Jerry, you can answer this question. What do you think you learned from your father that you utilize today in raising your children?
I'm not going to disparage the man as much. My history is a little different. My dad was around until I was about 10 or 11 when my parents split and he left. And so it's been years and years. So I'm not going to sit here and berate or anyone, especially someone that's not here to defend himself. I can say this though: a lot of the lessons I learned I use now with my kids and my daughter. Kind of going back to doing stuff, that's fun. You do have to separate and sometimes do something you don't want to do. And your kids want to and love it so much, and you just have to bite the bullet and go do it because it makes them happy. And that's part of loving them is for everything. And I just remember the things that my dad did supply for us and provide home and everything, but he wasn't present. And a lot of times I think not having a male role model affected me. And still does to this day. But now being a dad, I make sure that I'm present for her. Right. Emotionally, I'm present for her physically. That no matter how far, I'm in Arlington now, she stays with her mom in Garland. That's about a 45 to an hour drive. We don't care. Right. We make it happen. Right. We go to her little recital. We can go to whatever it is. We make it work. Just because unfortunately, my dad didn't. My mom worked. They both worked. But my mom worked a lot, and it was hard for them to make stuff at school. Church was always a big thing. Right. And that was me and my mom were always at those things. But dad wasn't wasn't his thing. And I keep that in mind all the time that when even I'm tired or, oh man, it's a long drive or whatever it is that you just don't feel like, I keep all that as a reminder and go, she's going to remember this. She's going to remember you being present. And I think that's the biggest thing is just being present for them. Just letting them know that you're there and no matter what. And you could be far away and just a phone call. The impact of a phone call is big. I know, as your dad said over here, that he wanted to be the first to talk to you. And I know that that's a big thing. It's hearing the voice of someone and it makes a big impact. And when you don't have it, me as an adult, you don't have it as much. Yeah, I appreciate the time I get to talk to my daughter when I can. So that's the thing. That's one thing I take a big lesson from.
Good. And I guess I would say that is a lesson you got from your dad, being there for your daughter. You know, Lamar, when like I said, when I first met you, I just felt like you were Daddy of the Year. So what pushes you to be that father? What is it that drives you?
He'll tell you what I want you to be. I want you to be great.
Talk in the mic. Tell us in the mic.
Be great, so you can be greater, so you can be what?
The greatest.
The what?
All right. Greatest.
See, I gotta put a little bit more energy in this. Because when you say stuff, that's why I stay on top of them and I fuss about it all the time. Because I only got one, you know. Hopefully. Somewhere out there. I only got one, but that one, he's 11. He just turned 11 June. I just turned 34 June. He turned 11 April.
Okay.
I'm giving you my birthday. But the things that I teach my son is the stuff that I know, because my mother, she told me too many times. How y'all doing? She told me too many times, I'm going to reap what I sow, because I did a lot of stuff in my past, getting in trouble in school, getting suspended. I got a felony on me. We ain't perfect, so I understand the concept. I just want, like I said, I want to make sure this boy understands that when he gets older, that when I die, his mom died. What I showed you yesterday. Now I'm not trying to offend homeless people, but I saw one this morning. Right, he was digging in the trash, and I said, now when you get into this situation, I need you to understand that you got yourself in that situation. Look at it now, like look at him now, and make sure that you don't become that person that depends on trash for food. And his face was just like. And I'm like, yeah, I need to scare you. And like you were saying, it trades. Like my son, we're pushing for him to be a meteorologist. He has his own thing called the Weather Kid.
Yes.
So he's doing his weather, and we're trying to set it up correctly, but me and his mom is not together, so we try to schedule it. So I moved, like, the drive was pretty far, because I was in Lancaster, he's in Garland, so I moved right down the street, townhome from him. And his school starts, so I'm trying to get this boy to a point to where when I leave, I don't have to worry about what did you do to make sure that he was available to have knowledge to be a survivalist. And my thing about surviving is, man, I've lost apartment, I lost a lot of stuff in the storage. I don't care. That stuff, you can't take it with you. Right. So I'm not going to complain about losing it. I still got my son at the end of the day. And when he gets his orientation, I'm a boo-hoo so hard. I boo-hoo looking at his old picture. When I showed you this morning, I was doing your hair. I was looking. I was like, remember this picture? Remember this picture? Because every day it's like that's my kick. That's my energy. That's my, this is my seed. So I want to make sure that his trades, like he, get him a scholarship for meteorology. So while he's doing it now at 11, he can push it all the way. Middle school, they watching him. High school, they watch. Next thing you know, that scholarship's so easy. I ain't got to do nothing about it. You know what I mean? And that's just one thing. He has his clothes. He has his acting. I'm trying to make sure he becomes a very great product. So my whole thing about him is, if I can give him anything, it's knowledge. Because at the end of the day, you can work a 9 to 5 for 40 years and they don't give you nothing. They don't give you nothing. They'll fire you quick and give you that little 401k and say, and you like, I can't live, So I want to make sure that he makes 401ks every day, to a point where he making a lot of money. So, but my thing is that I love him, And when I love him and I whoop him, he knows the whoopings. He knows the stretches. He knows I gotta make him do push-ups so he won't fight the butt whooping. Slow his arms up a little bit so when he getting them push-ups, he can't push it on that. It's perfect. Right. But why do I do that though? Exactly. So I make sure if I whoop him, I have to go, and I don't want you to know, but I have to go. And I get a little tear, to be hurting. I be like, this is my kid. He's looking at. We just got finished chasing lizards. Now,
chasing frogs.
And one more thing, I gotta say this. So he's having a little difficulties in mathematics. I've been fussing at him about it, and he got to it with the games. Minecraft and the other games they be playing. Kids be turning games up. he having a hard time. I said, listen, he wants his hair to grow because he wants the new thing, locks and crap. I said, all right, well, you don't have any stuff in school. I'm gonna cut your hair and whoop you at the same time. So what did I do? I almost did it. I wanted to make sure he understood what I meant because I had him on the couch with the clippers and the belt. And I'm jiggling that part to make him get that. And then I said, I told you. And he just sitting there. And he just sitting there like naked. Like, I'm not naked, but he naked enough for me to say, I'm finna do this to you. But in my head, I wasn't at the time. So don't think I was just joking. I'm just telling them why I did it, okay? So that's my whole deal. I just want to make sure my son is available to this world to be able to minister and help these kids. He's at the church. He's doing things for the church. I just want to sow the seed so when I look back, he ain't calling me from jail, Because I didn't go do no time or nothing. Just 7 days in jail, that wasn't nothing. But the people I saw in that jail, and they're probably gone to Huntsville now, those are the brothers that didn't have the money or didn't have the knowledge, was too emotional to keep themselves in check. And I'm trying to make sure when you stand up for somebody, I let him get suspended. He gets suspended one time. The whole 12 that he's been in school, middle school and all that, I will let you get suspended for sticking up for yourself or helping someone else. But if you do this on the regular, I'm cutting the hair and I'm whooping you. And I'm doing more. I'm taking your sneakers, your games, throwing the games, I'm burning the PS4, all that stuff.
Burning it.
Because you can't take it with you. So, it's just money at the end of the day. But I just want to make him understand, like, when you grow, we all know. I'm pretty sure y'all got more stories than me. I'm the youngest one out of the four, not calling you old. I'm saying now.
I believe he just did. He
On
called
the cool. On the cool.
Thanks, man.
On the cool.
I look at the hat and I see now.
That's like saying, I don't want to get in your business, but.
Well, one thing that you talk about that this is why I hear, as a hairstylist, so women come to the beauty shop and they talk about things that happen in their family. And one thing I hear women talk about, he can't whoop my child, and he can be the baby's dad. I don't want nobody putting their hand on my baby. Howard, how do you feel about being on one accord when it comes to disciplining a child?
There's a lot of different things that combine that. You got to understand that every child is different. I have 2 children. My daughter
Jibby, we heard
is
you.
like
Okay,
my daughter is just like me. We know we're gonna get a whooping. we trying to figure out whether it's worth doing what I'm gonna do anyway before I get the whooping. So whoopings do not work with her. I remember she's got a spanking and she had a spanking on her feet, and I had to tell her mom that's enough, and I took the door up to her and she says, "Hey Dad, my feet hurt." I'm like, yeah. but she'll just sit there. She won't give you the satisfaction. So whoopings don't work for her. But you find out what you like. You take her phone. You take technology. My daughter, even if I take her phone, she said, "Well, you better take Zach's phone too." So as soon as
she's negotiating.
Yeah. My dad was a real disciplinary. I thank him for it because he made me a man, But my dad tried to whoop my daughter when she was little, and he would tell us, "Hold out your hand," and my daughter said, "Grandpa, what's wrong?" He said, "Sakia, come over right now. I can't hold my hands, Grandpa. My hands are dirty. You don't want to get your belt dirty by hitting my hand." And she negotiated herself from the greatest disciplinarian in the world to me, my dad. She negotiated my father out of it. So that's one aspect. My son, I'm not sure if this is true, but my daughter and I were at the airport one day and we saw a little kid acting up in the airport. And we looked at each other. And my daughter said, "We didn't have that problem with you, did we?" And I said, "No, because you act like that." I said, "Y'all gonna go to the bathroom." and both of us, because in public you're not gonna, and both of us looked. And my son, 6'4" now, 17 years old, he does not use public bathrooms. And I think I terrified him. So all you have to do is say to him, "You want to get a whooping," or if he sees it and he straightens up immediately.
Wow.
So in the early age, you discipline them and you let them know it's in love. But my kids, They didn't get it like my dad, and I didn't get it like my dad got. But my dad always told me some things, just like my grandfather would say, don't take any wooden nickel. And you say, why? They pray sawdust in your pocket. To me, that didn't make no sense. But it's true, you know, you don't want to take something from somebody that has no value.
Right.
So I tell when you get information, you listen to people. And then you take a sifter and sift through whatever stays on top, that's the good stuff. One thing my dad was telling me, I told my daughter this morning, she was running late for something. I said, hey, always be early. I made it on time. There's no such thing as late. There's no such thing as, because they don't care, it's early or on time. Late is when you have a problem. So if you get there early or on time, you know, that shuts them apart. People are gonna know what's going on with you in your life. And that's something like that told me for years and years and years.
Can I say something?
Sure.
He made me think about something. My pastor, Pastor Marcus King, he told me something similar, and it's been sticking with me. He said, when you get out of bed, make your bed. And I was just like, when we was in brotherhood, I'm like, what does that mean? I'm like, I know I'm gonna brush my teeth. Right. So when you get out of the bed, you make your bed because it sets you up for the rest of the day.
That's right.
Wow.
And I've been sticking with that for about like 3, maybe 2 years now. Even though I don't do it all the time, but it's still like you grab that part, because I be in brotherhood, be scrolling through Facebook sometimes, but I caught that part and it's been on me, and every day I'm like, wake up, make that bed, and when you start from that bed on out, it sets your order for the rest of the day if you allow it. I mean, because you can sit around the house and BS and all that and not have nothing going on, but once you do something similar and you say, I'm on a good foot today, the rest of the day, that's why I was like, when you said it kind of kicked on me, because I'm still on the orientation part. I'm proud of it, because you said you got a 17-year-old or 17-year-old?
He's 17.
And he's 6'4"?
6'4".
And he's scared of you.
He
In a sense, not like scared, but
Healthy fear.
Like it's funny because this is something that some dads like they like the first time that their son acts like they can take you and everything like that. That's it's coming. So
he already tried me a couple times.
Yeah. He's 6'4". He's and I didn't realize he was that tall until graduation, because I'm with him all the time.
Yeah.
And when they took pictures of him with my sister, I was like, wow, he's towering. Then my brother-in-law, I'm maybe an inch taller than him. He's towering him. I'm just like, wow. I thought he was maybe 6'3", 6'1", but actually, I'm like, and if you walk up the other morning, his thighs are this big. But
You created a beast.
and they eat.
Yes.
Oh yeah. All right, guys, we have to go. We have to go to break right quick. But when we come back, we're going to talk to Leon, and we're going to just talk because he has all girls too. So so we're going to talk to him about how how it was for him raising girls. And I mean, do men at one point say, "Why got a girl, son?" But anyway, we're going to talk to him when we get back. But right now, we're going to hear music from Karen Hawthorne. Won't he do it?
Oh, yeah.
He said he would. Thank your battles for you, make them wonder how you sleeping. Okay, no, I know the song. But we'll be right back after this song.
Listen, let the song No, that's funny. I actually, when we was at the church, at my church,
Hey everybody. We are having a great time. We are talking to dads today on the Inspirational Diva show, and I hope y'all praying for me because my voice is going out. My head is hurting like crazy. Sinus, but I'm still going through with the show because my dad is here. Y'all see him? That's him right there. But anyway, we are talking to our dads today. Yeah, because it's Father's Day weekend. And so y'all talk to the dads, all right? So for all the men that say I never have a show for men, here it is. We're talking today. So am I all up in the camera? All up in the camera. All right, we will be back after this song, all right?
So I go to the restroom, use the restrooms, I look under the stalls.
Thank God for the fathers that I have that are
Keep on using the restroom.
the godparents
I wash my hand, walk out. Go back in the restroom.
Look at me now.
He in there hiding from fit. I'm talking about mad and everything.
And
I'm
not only
like,
that,
what is you
Father's Day
doing?
to my
You mad
mom.
cause you got left, you mad. I'm sorry, I ain't mad. Cause they all
So,
got kids.
happy Father's Day to you.
Happy Father's Day. So,
I haven't gotten to that level yet.
My mother.
You know what I'm saying?
Father.
He got you called quite like, so you had to say
Yes, to my
But,
brother
no,
on
when I tell you I had to move him in that
Father's
restroom,
So,
I don't throw no
again, to
fits
all
like that.
the
Especially in God's house,
fathers,
like, you
happy
can't throw no
Father's Day.
fits like that.
And let's just go
And
back in
then
the studio
it
and
was
see
no
what these
one's
guys are
fault
talking
but
about.
yours. I said, go get in that car. But the funny part about it was to see, like, I'm using the restroom and I looked, and he was in there the whole time. And I stuck in there and I heard him just throwing them tantrums. That was the first time I heard my son throw a tantrum by himself in the restroom. When I tell you I whooped him for about a good 10 minutes, I said, you know what? This is a rerun of my mom whooping me in the church. Because when I say we used to sit in the church, it's 4 of us. My mother used to, my dad used to, he was sitting just like that, I'm sitting like that, making all kind of record, and he listening, he keep letting me make it. Next thing you know, everybody sitting there like this. And I'm just sitting there trying to keep myself from crying and stuff. Well, my mom used to take me in the restroom and whoop me, and then she damped the little, sorry, Mom. She get the towel and damp my skin to make sure I don't get no bruises from school. You know what
Was that the way
Yeah.
you do it?
That's why I do it. I look up, let me see them little hips. That ain't no big mark. You can make it. Don't limp in the room. When the teacher asks you what's wrong, say, because I remember that one morning I woke them, I was like, ooh, I hope I don't get no call. But I don't have to, it's like once every 6-7 months.
Yeah.
I let them tally up, and then I whoop them for the thing. And I say, okay, Donna, I tally him up. I don't, because if I'm gonna whoop you every day, I'm gonna be crying. I ain't gonna do that to him. He ain't gonna want to come over the house. Especially with his, he got this attitude about him. He's a good kid. He's a lefty just like me. And yes, I'm bragging. He's a good kid. But sometimes, boy,
But he's a kid.
He's a kid.
And
All right, everybody, we're going back.
See these shoes right here? These shoes right here? I bought these shoes a week ago. He just kicking all and dust all outside. I said,
All right, everybody, we're back. It's your girl, Sydney Dixon, the Inspirational Diva. These commercial break conversations are so funny. But all right, we are back, and so we have been talking to dads. This is our Father's Day weekend, and so this is our Father's Day show. So I want to kick a shout out to all the fathers that are listening. Happy Father's Day to you, and I hope that y'all get some great gifts. And if you get yet another tie and another pair of socks, hey, just add it to the collection. It's all good. But we're going to talk to my dad right now. And so my dad raised girls, all girls. So Leon,
You.
tell us about your journey raising, being in a house full of girls.
Well, has good days and bad days. The good days are when we were all together. The bad days is me being a veteran. Places I had to go overseas that you couldn't take the family with you. Those are my sad days. I spent Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays, and everything away from my family. And then when I was back in the States, sometimes my job would be. My wife really did the majority of the raising of my absentee. It wasn't because I didn't want to be there. But it was fun. I liked from one daughter, chicken. She played volleyball in high school and got a scholastic scholarship to Alabama A&M, Bulldogs, in Huntsville, Alabama, and she played volleyball there. And then when she graduated from college, she moved to Atlanta, got a nice job. And in her spare time, she coached. They have a lot of volleyball clubs in the Atlanta area. So she took on one called Atlanta Boom. And they went from mediocre season to, under her tutelage, to an undefeated season in the next year.
Go Nessa!
Woo! Right?
Well, the other two daughters, like Miss the Style and Diva, I wasn't around her that much, but once I first latched onto her, it's just like a hog and slop. You know been a blessing. And like I said, I thank God every day for her. And all my daughters. But they're nice kids. I've never had any problem. No drinking, no drugs, no still not like that. They've all been all about the future, as far as education, job-wise, and so far it's worked out pretty good for all of them.
Cause what does Lovey do? Lovey,
Yeah.
is she a biologist? What does she do?
She's a microbiologist.
Microbiologist. Okay. Yeah, and she has a daughter. Lovey has a daughter, and my sister Janessa has a daughter. So it's a bunch of girls. But well, yeah, that's good. So, and I understand. You know, I know you were away a lot, but I know that when just hearing the stories, how when you were home, you made up for that lost time with them. And I think that's very important, because a lot of times we work as parents, and kids sometimes they have no choice but to be on devices and telephones and iPods, and because parents are so tired. And one thing I see, go in and watch TV, go in and play on your thing, and it's like there's really time that you could be spending with your child. And so I think it's very important that we do spend that time. Now, Jerry.
Yes, ma'am.
What are some things that you feel you would instill in your daughter, who will be dating one day?
Oh, don't say that.
Okay.
Don't say that she's
Yeah, I
going to
already
date one
just
day.
said CHL.
One day she will be dating.
Right.
Well, how old was she? Okay, how old does she have to be before you allow her to date?
Well, that's an interesting question. You know what? I don't know. I think, just like any other age.
Never. That's the answer.
Never is answer one.
That cannot be the answer.
No. I don't. You know what? It's a good question. I think I'm gonna go by just a lot of just to see how mature she is at that point. And yeah, 12, 13. No. That's I think still a little young. 15, 16, and just to see where the person's at. And,
right.
I will always take the word from other dads and other, if they impart words of wisdom, I'm always listening, because it's still a process. I'm still learning as we go.
Right.
So I don't want to give you a clear-cut answer. It'll be when she's 15 and she has this and this and this. But you know what? It's also, I guess, a maturity level. I mean, you got a 15.
Right.
You can have a 15-year-old that, does well in school, works, involved in church, involved in their activities, and can maneuver all of it. Then you have 15-year-olds that there's no motivation, and they're just kind of like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
And so you kind of, I think you have to gauge it by everyone. He had said, every kid's different. Every kid's different. So I think that's going to be we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping, just co-parenting and grandparents' advice, and everybody's just kind of putting their take on it. And that's it. I don't want to think about it now. But I do want to. I know it's inevitable. I know it's going to happen. And I think I'm going to have to approach it as that if we're doing things the best way we can in the right way, you're preparing them to just be. I may be the dad, but preparing her to be a strong young woman, strong young lady who's.
And to know her
focus
self-worth.
and exactly. To know who she is,
right.
And start learning and developing her identity as far as who she is in life and who she is from a cultural standpoint. Learning her roots and learning what she's about. Knowing she's born in Dallas, Texas, so let her know what she's about, Texas. That sort of thing. And I think that as time progresses, you start to kind of mold it a little bit. But yeah, that's my approach. At least on it.
Let me ask. I want all of you all to answer this, because there's a lot of single mothers out there. They're raising their children by themselves without father for whatever reason. Now, I've had this said to me for years, and I used to embrace it. But for some reason here lately, I'm like, I don't think that should apply to me. When people tell women Happy Father's Day.
Terrible.
What do you think about that?
Terrible.
Come on, Lamar, let's talk about that. Okay, go ahead, Jerry. Go ahead.
So, from the time I was 13, about 11-ish, 11. Let's say about 11. it was just me and my mom. I'm an only child, no brothers and sisters at that point. And I was raised, in my eyes, by a single mom. My mom did her best. And she tried to play the role of mother and father, which at times was very, very difficult. And she tried her best to impart the discipline, which I think sometimes you need to have the dad to do it, right? But she did her best, and she, by the way, she was 5'3", and I was scared of her.
Good.
You know, and it's that we're talking about that healthy fear, right?
Yeah.
And so I saw that and went, yeah, she was my, in some aspects, my dad. Now there was there things missing that she could have done, or that I could have, that I wish my dad was around? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the importance of it. But I'm sorry to answer the question. Saying Father's Day, Happy Father's Day to a single mom, I think is dependent on whether they wish to accept that. If they accept it and recognize that someone's acknowledging them not only on Mother's Day but on Father's Day because they're a single mom to their kid or kids, I don't see anything wrong with it as far as because they're accepting it. Now, of course, you don't want to offend someone. They're like, no, that's for their dad. I've got my day on Mother's Day. Hey, that's the same thing. You respect that as well. But if you're a single mom, shout out to all the single moms out there because I got raised one. But then shout out to all the single dads out there too.
Right.
I'm not gonna. One's better than the other.
Right.
Single parent raising their kids is absolutely a challenge and it's a task. And I think obviously co-parenting is vital. And everyone's situation is different.
Because would a man that's raising their children want somebody to say Happy Mother's Day to them? I don't think so.
Yeah,
That's
a good point.
I said it to my mom.
What do you think?
This one, and I can agree because my mother, she shout out to Bobby Jean.
All right, Bobby Jean.
Krista King.